All right, here we have a graph of f, and we have a bunch of problems that it's asking us to solve here, or to find, and this looks pretty intimidating when you first look at it, but if you just take it piece by piece, it's really not too bad, so don't get too overwhelmed. Just kind of take it one step at a time. Let's start with letter A. Here it asks us to find f of 0. So this has a bunch of pi's in it just to make it even kind of look more complicated, but it's not that bad, all right? So f of 0, what this is saying is normally it's f of x, and so we're trying to say when our x value is 0, what is the output there? And you can see that our red line kind of comes up here, and the output, or our y value, is going to be 4. So f of 0 equals 4. All right, not too bad. Same thing, letter B, f of 3 pi. Let's find 3 pi. That's when our x is 3 pi. Our output is -4. Okay, -4. Not too bad. What about letter C? This time it asks for the domain of f. And the domain, remember, that's our x values. And this actually stops. It doesn't go forever in both directions like some of them do, like -infinity to +infinity. Here it actually starts at 0. That's the first x that comes into play. And then the last one's actually 4 pi, right? These are the x values of those points. So 0 to 4 pi. Now, are those closed dots? Yes, yes they are, so they are included, therefore they get brackets, not parentheses. So I'm going to say from 0 to 4 pi is the domain of f. Okay, same thing, the range is going to be from the bottom to the top. Here the lowest y value, we have a -4, another -4, so -4 to +4. Same thing there, they both get brackets again because they're included. Oops, -4 to +4. Let's get brackets. The x-intercepts, where does this thing actually cross the x-axis? So if this is my x-axis, it crosses 1, 2, 3, 4 of those different spots. So I'm just gonna go ahead and rewrite each of these ordered pairs as my x-intercepts. I'll do that quick for you. All right, so we have all 4 of those listed out. Now it wants the y-intercepts. And remember, in order to be a function, it can only have one y-intercept, and it has one right there. And this crosses our y-axis at 4. Okay, so we're going to say our y-intercept listed out again as an ordered pair is just 0, 4. 0, 4 for the y-intercept. Look at this, we only have 3 left here, okay? What about letter G? It says, how many times does the line y equals 2 pass through the graph? So if you think about the line y equals 2, that's only going to go through, if this is 4, it'd be kind of in between here. It's only going to go through our y-axis. There's no x in that line. And it's going to cross through, I'll use a dotted line. It's going to cross through my red graph 1, 2, 3, 4 times. That's what it's asking. It's how many times does it cut through that graph? And so we're going to say 4 times. So kind of a weird one there, but that's what it's asking for, so we can do it. Letter H, for what value or values does f of x equal -4? Now remember, f of x is another way to say y. So we're looking for any y value in our ordered pair xy, the y value where it equals a -4. And we can see really quickly that I think here and here is, if this is xy, the y part is a -4. So for what values does that happen? And that's going to be when our x is, we can say, when x equals pi, or when x is 3 pi. Okay, and then the last one here, for what values of x is f of x greater than 0? What this just means is, when is this going to be above our x-axis? So we have to have some different ranges here. In fact, if I kind of highlight what those are going to be, here it's above it, right? So that piece, this whole piece here, that's above our x-axis, and then also this last one right there. So we're going to have 3 different pieces of the graph that's above our x-axis, and I have to write those different ranges so that we can see what values of x that's included. Okay, so starting at 0, from 0 to pi over 2. 0, terrible 0. 0 to pi over 2. Now, I'm going to include the 0 because it is above the x-axis, but pi over 2 is not. So I'm going to use a parentheses there. Union with 3 pi over 2 to 5 pi over 2, neither of those are going to be included. So 3 pi over 2 to 5 pi over 2. Those both get parentheses because they're on the x-axis. We want things that are greater than 0, not equal to 0. And then the last part here is from 7 pi over 2 to 4 pi. From 7, I'll say union with 7 pi over 2 to 4 pi. Now I kind of already did this one already, but the 7 pi over 2 gets a parentheses. What's the 4 pi going to get? Do you know? It's above the x-axis, so it actually is going to get a bracket because it's included in that part that is greater than 0. So we'll give that one a bracket. All right, so when you see a problem like this, we have lots of different kind of letters here. This is A through I. Don't get too intimidated by it. You can do it. Just take it piece by piece and you'll be absolutely fine.